Right, welcome back, guys. We had a little break now, and I think people's been sharpening their anti-Bohemian knives, I think. And we've been having a look around, and I mean, the Allies can call in stuff right away now. Oh, well, the non-commie side. But Daniel's been justifying here against Germany. So my suspicion is that that is going to kick off the war.
We have a lot of stuff going on. We have the eastern border, the former Polish border, is completely armed now and ready to go.
Yeah. We are not sure Yugoslavia is going to be able to hold this, though. I mean, they put up a fortification line here and some...
They pull back into the mountains. Whether they depends if they get some help from Italy. If Italy comes in to back them up, they should be okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they will, though. Like, maybe. They seem to be sort of garrisoning France.
Right.
And
meanwhile, over in the U.S., it's on its way to civil war because
oh, really?
the fascists are now at 41% support in the United States.
Oh, dear.
So that could turn the tide.
that could do some weird stuff.
Because here we are expecting the Comintern to roll here. So I think we're ready to start. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. As long as the players are giving me thumbs up over there, I think. Yeah.
So let's get this clock going.
Let's rock. So I'm going to bet. Right now, I'm betting Comintern.
I'm going to be contrarian, and I'm going to say the fascists are going to pull this out.
All right. We'll see. The British Navy is still kind of dominating here in the Med.
We'll see who... do you want to take a side bet on where the war starts?
I'm going to go with the Balkans, actually. Oh, wait, something happened.
Hungary joined the Allies. Now, why would the Swedes declare war on Hungary?
I don't know.
Because those are the communists, right?
Yeah.
So that's the same strategy, right? It pulls a Hungary into the Allies and forces a war there.
Yeah, and I mean, Romania is actually the one who's going to be fighting this, it seems.
Yeah.
Together with, well, a lot of Soviet troops who are actually on this border, if you look closely enough. So, in fact, most of the troops seems to be Soviet troops here. In fact, let's find out what kind of troops do they actually have here. Is there anything good? Like, see a lot of cavalry, but maybe some decent armor? Maybe? Well, it's not terrible. T-26s.
So everyone's grabbing at Hungary. But once again...
Yeah, the Hungary attack arrows here.
Everyone seems nervous to pull the trigger.
I think so. Have you seen this beautiful little Soviet invasion targeting Spain, by the way?
That is cute.
Yeah, there's actually there doesn't seem to be anyone assigned to it, though.
No, not yet.
Oh, no, wait.
Is there?
There's actually... Wait. Why are they doing invasion? Aren't they friendly? Oh, no, they're not.
No.
Got it mixed up. Never mind.
But, you know, the problem is who controls the Mediterranean at this point?
Yeah.
It looks like it's still the French, the Free French.
Or the Allies. Yeah, I don't know. It's... exactly. I mean, I saw the British Navy down there, so...
Because the Free French have quite a few ships there in the Mediterranean.
Yeah. And what is Sweden actually doing with its units? It's,
It's taken Finland, so what is it? What do you think its plan is? Probably to cross into Denmark.
They have unicorn divisions here. Bringers of hell in Swedish, sort of. Guarding here the strait to Copenhagen. And I gotta have to see what kind of division this is. So these are Marines with a lot of artillery and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. A whole bunch of stolen Norwegian and Finnish equipment. So I guess the spirit of Scandinavia is coming for Germany. And yeah, Hungary is basically gone now. And I guess the Czechs got a bit of it.
Probably not as much as they planned with their war plan on it.
No. And we'll see what happens with the peace conference here. Should be over any second now.
Afghanistan's still holding out strong.
Yeah, I'll see how much left for Daniel's thing. So 19th of February, so just a few days now. And then, of course, yeah, Afghanistan is like... just keep it up.
Just swallows men whole.
Yeah. So let's see. Back to the Bohemian Empire here. There. And there's a little... Oh, Yugoslavia, actually.
Got the bulk of it, yeah.
Yeah. Not sure if that's a good idea for Yugoslavia. They seem to have actually deployed... There's a whole bunch of Spanish units around here now as well. It's looking at nationalist...
Well, the Spanish units will bolster that front line for sure.
Yeah, it's very needed.
Yeah, that's...
The question, though, is, I mean, they're not really left enough to defend their home. Well, there's a bit, but they're not exactly in a position to...
It's a very wide front, and they're better off, you know, focusing on the protection of Belgrade, I would think.
Yeah.
But I'm just second-guessing here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. So, let's go back. Unity now, at least up to 55. So they worked off a lot of stuff, but apparently not everything. Not actually picked the Joint Axis one. And I guess the bonuses are not worth it because nobody's going for Navy here. Oop. That is a good point, actually. So, here comes the war declaration.
I did not predict East Prussia from China.
Well, oh dear. And it looks like... Actually, let's see for the front line to stabilize here. It seems to be going bad on the attack here for Russians. This front is going to be very bloody. Of course, attacking in winter. And yeah, there we go. Watch out, Krugi. They're communists in your country. So the Soviet Union has landed in Barcelona because all of the Spanish army is helping to protect Yugoslavia.
Oh, they do have 16 units up here in
Bar. But, yeah, they're moving down now, but... Yes. Probably want to strategic redeploy that distance. They have a couple down here in the south as well that could be helpful, but yeah, Italian navies still some left. There's a battleship kind of struggling on there, but let's go see. The German-Russian front seem to actually have stopped. Neither side managed to get an advantage. So let's see, where is the push happening now? It seems to be happening here in Czechoslovakia. And still is very mountainous. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
Well, they've got a huge manpower advantage.
Yeah.
In Slovakia, in the Bukovina area.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fighters going on here. There's some casts and stuff. Taking out buildings and ground troops a little bit, but not that much air war yet. In fact, what is happening with the Bohemian Empire?
Oh, the Bohemian Indian Empire?
Yeah.
Looks like Quill is doing the right thing and cleaning up the map to get rid of this map gore.
Yeah. For him, yeah, I mean, he's got he's kind of way behind now in industry because of this. He's only got eight factories. So hopefully the rest of the Comintern, who seem to be doing quite well, and Switzerland's finally surrendered actually. So I think that was a very sneaky but a successful strategy.
I agree. It's not something that I've thought of, but it's a kind of underhanded trick that communists are known for.
Yeah. So interesting. I'm gonna take a look here at the German divisions. They seem to have been going for No, they got some anti-air, a little bit of suppression. Not that much artillery. Rocking with a single artillery here in the divisions. And they seem to be going very infantry heavy. There's no real panzer divisions happening here.
No, they haven't even updated their panzers much. They're still mostly light tanks and some motorized infantry to go alongside.
I mean, they don't even actually have the medium tank, so...
Well, that's...
So they seem to have gone... I mean, I guess it's an early war, but they probably could have, you know, Germany gets some early access to that stuff. Could have had a couple. And, oh, actually, a brave Canadian has landed near Albania.
That is redundant, because all Canadians are brave.
Oh, this is true, of course. Maybe this guy's extra brave.
Extra brave Canadian.
I mean, he's successfully landed here in Montenegro. And I don't know if Yugoslavia is going to kick him out, maybe. He seemed to be doing that, actually.
First District Militia, well, he's dead.
It's actually led by the Hofmeister. I love that guy's name. But nothing else has really moved here on the Yugoslav front. And I am unsure if they really made much headway into Czechoslovakia either. Oh, this is interesting. Actually, Sweden has stepped in to start occupying Denmark as well. So that's actually a front that I don't know if the Germans have really seen. No, they're fortifying now. But it's just poor garrison, so maybe they're too busy looking at elsewhere.
Well, there's still a lot of German divisions in France who can be brought to bear on that, since the AI UK seems to be inert at this point.
Yeah.
It's lost probably a lot of its...
no, I mean, the AI in this, let me see how many divisions they have. I mean, they have nothing. So the AI in this case is just using basically its fleet to stay alive and protect some of the ports. They're not really a player anymore.
That does mean that the Germans can therefore take more of its power out of France, doesn't have to defend it.
Yeah.
It's not as extensively.
No. Might be just to suppress resistance here. Let's see what kind of divisions... They are actually using like fairly big divisions though for the garrisoning. I'm not sure they really need that much. Could have made some smaller templates there maybe. Yeah, so Latvia has fallen. But the front line here against the Soviets is struggling, so I wonder if they're going to be hit somewhere else. So now is the time where you have to kind of pan around and try and see if they're planning anything elsewhere. Because I think neither side really has the power to punch through that line there. Nobody has heavy tank stuff yet. Like,
no one has. The Germans have heavy tanks, but they're not using them or building them.
Ah, sorry, I meant like divisions with a lot of tanks in.
No,
like,
they have no division. There aren't many tanks. This is strictly an infantry war. It's this very.
Yeah. Now the new front seems to be in Spain again, actually, where there is some liberations going on. And we'll see about, well, fascism is increasing in United States still. And it seems also that the People's Republic of China's war on, not the People's Republic of China, China has also kind of ground down a bit to a halt.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it's dragged on as it has. We have a planned sweep down through the south, but it doesn't seem to be activated or doing much.
No. Maybe they figure they need to be pushing elsewhere. I mean, this front is going to be hard to push on. It's very, very long. And with this kind of, although some of this terrain is not that bad, you could bring in some fast divisions and try to cut some stuff. I suspect Daniel's busy elsewhere, actually. Well, he only has two groups. He's got one up here, and he's trying to do something against the Germans. I'm not sure what yet. It just seems to be reinforcing up here. The real... So... Apparently these divisions are called the real deal, so I'm gonna just assume that they actually look kind of terrible.
No.
Maybe this is like secret intel. They're all completely green trained as well. So I don't know what's up with that. But Bohemia's at least gotten a little bit more territory here.
So the communists are trying to move Japan to the communist cause, and that should help wipe out China. But at this point, they really need to start going for the Reich. They can't be, all these little side wars are only going to have a marginal effect.
I suspect people might have been staring a little bit too hard at the land war as well. If nobody actually has a fleet where they can pull off invasions, it's going to be really hard to circumvent some of these fronts here.
Has anybody been researching aircraft? I mean, this is 1938. It's a very early war.
Yeah.
People started fighting in 36, 37.
Germany has not a lot of air. I mean, they have 125 fighters, so they seem to be going for land war stuff. Looking at the Soviets, not that much either. Like 280 fighters, 166 tactical bombers. It's in that range. Romania is like 5 fighters. Italy is actually looking okay for its size. Like, still not too many fighters. They have CAS and bombers and stuff like that. But people seem to have not gone too much into fighters, and I suspect Daniel is nothing because he's PRC,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So do you want to talk to Daniel? It might be interesting to get Daniel's perspective on what is going on in China, why is the attack is stalled,
and what is the real deal doing?
And what is a real deal?
Yeah, so we'll see. They'll let us know when he's ready for the chat.
Yes.
Yes, so Romania is overrunning us there.
So I'm going to be looking at Romania for a little bit, and they have activated their attack against Yugoslavia again. But it seems to be kind of slow here. Oh, Hungary is now capitulated again.
That's the bug. That's still not out.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Seeked Daniel, so let's hear what he has to say.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody. I stand here with our very own Daniel, and he's going to tell us what's going on in China and what's the real deal about.
Yeah, that Chinese war is kind of annoying. Screw you, Axis. So they're basically keeping all my troops occupied right there, so I can't go and reinforce, our front line versus, Germany. But we have a special treat for Germany coming up quite soon. So, yeah, I look forward to that while I'm just securing my borders.
There, I guess that you desire to stay ambiguous on the matter of that surprise?
Yeah.
Well, we will have to see. There we have it, folks. Daniel has given his word, and I'll throw it back to the studio, to Dan and Troy.
All right, we are looking forward to that surprise.
Do you have any guess what his surprise could possibly be?
A long, drawn-out death in the Chinese mountains?
I don't think that's a surprise at this point,
I don't know. Maybe Bohemian Empire is going to pop up and, like...
The Bohemian Empire of Tibet?
Yeah, I wonder, maybe he means the US, but I'm not sure how much, what can it do? Not that much, right?
Yeah, at this point, with most of the fascist powers...
Actually, navally, it could be useful.
Well, we have Japan being persuaded by the commies to switch sides.
Yeah.
So that could be the surprise, maybe?
Maybe.
That would bring some naval power, but it's got a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, naval power is not going to finish this, but they need something so they can move around because... Actually, yeah, I completely forget. I'm pretty sure, actually, the Italian Navy being sunk a lot here is that they can actually invade. I mean, they invaded national Spain.
Yeah.
So... And now they're actually pushing again, so I think they're making some headway now, actually.
It's slow headway because they do not have the air or tank divisions needed to really push through.
No.
But they are making progress. They are winning these battles against the Soviet infantry.
Yeah, I mean, you can see here, so this is the air map mode from the German perspective, and they're not controlling most of these areas, and you can see in these combats here that they are actually, I mean, the enemy sort of has the air superiority, and it's, yeah. They're gonna have a bigger, I don't think either side have very big air force though, so they're probably still able to push, but now it's also mud season here, so...
Right. It's, when is it not mud season?
Well,
do you
in
find,
winter.
Do you find, when it's snow season,
yeah.
Do you find that's an issue for some players, that they neglect one of the arms of their military and not realize how important it is, especially starting players?
In multiplayer, some of it is also down to having time to do all of it, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of people do neglect the Air Force. It's the kind of thing you need to punch a line like that effectively. But again, when you only have this much time, it's a question of like divisions versus planes. And with so many different fronts everywhere, it might actually be better to have more divisions. Air Force can also be fairly bloody, so you do spend a lot of money on it, you might end up losing it if the other side does as well. But it doesn't look like anyone's put that much production in it. Actually, I think the Soviets are doing, they're up to 300 now. So they might have switched over to seriously produce them. Let's see.
Now, one thing the Soviets have not done is
No, they are not actually. They might have gotten there from somewhere else actually.
The Soviets have not changed their conscription law.
Do they have to? Well, they got 300k left, so. But there's no more reason not to go for extensive, right?
Right. I mean.
It does increase training time a little, so. I guess you don't have to until you have to, but. It's a little risky.
Especially if you're taking casualties and losing the front, you want to get those men.
Because they, you know, I mean, they need another 100 or like, well, like 60 to more political power or something to, you know, do it. So it's nice to save the points so you can do it when you really need to. You don't want to sit there with no manpower. And are they actually training? So they are. Are they rocking the default? Wow, they go with some really cheap divisions. Nobody's really putting artillery and stuff here. So most of the Russian divisions are very low on attack power. I'm gonna take a look at the German ones as well. I mean, if they're similar, they only have one artillery, so neither side has any real pushing power, right? If you're gonna push a line, I mean, you want at least 2 artillery in there.
Right.
Preferably, like if you have no tanks, you're gonna need to build like fairly artillery heavy, large infantry divisions to punch with instead.
And with all that experience saved up by the Soviet army, you could actually really boost your divisions.
Yeah.
Especially if you did change that conscription law.
Yeah, for sure. I do see some bombing being happened here actually, because you can see damaged factories going on. So someone's been bombing Germany. And let's see, there's nothing lately. Yeah. But I guess the Bohemian Empire, at least in Europe, is standing strong. It's slowly crumbling here in in India. Is nice to see. In fact, Afghanistan's also. I'm not sure why we are bothering with Afghanistan though when Europe is burning, but I just kind of want to see that moment when Bohemia disappears, you know. And to go back to Daniel, I think he's actually managed to get across this river now here. So if you can just cut off this area, that should help him a lot, I think. It seems to be going very slow. He is, let's see, how is his equipment situation? It's actually good. He has a slight surplus of equipment, which is an achievement when you're fighting in these mountains. And yeah, now we have more communist support as well in Japan.
Where did the Soviet armies in Africa go? I guess they're up there at the north by the canal.
Yeah.
Once again, just sitting there. They see that front line and no one's moving across it. I think it's probably a wise decision on both their parts at this point.
Yeah. I was just gonna. This is pretty funny, by the way. The you know where the Canadian guy managed to take a port?
Yes.
There's a brave Malayan unit. They just do the same, but then got cut off again. So I mean, the remnants of the Allies are still trying to make a difference, you know. Slowly but bravely.
You know.
Yeah. Right. Maybe it would be interesting to hear from the German player now before Daniel's surprise triggers.
Yeah, I mean, I just hear what the Prussian Prince has to say about the Operation Barbarossa -3.
Yeah, I mean, stuck in the mud, part 2.
Yes. And his general plan.
It seems to be very tough going. And Sweden's Unicorn divisions seem to have been stopped here at the canal. It's actually fair amount though. No, they managed to pull off some kind of naval landing, I think, as well. Or we might have missed them when they control this area. So there's heavy fighting in Kiel.
And Brazil has landed in Brittany. So.
I mean, this could sort of be the new front, right? If they manage to actually get a foothold here and you start piling in, it's going to be close to Berlin. It'd be kind of funny if that decides it, you know. And Afghanistan is still bleeding. They do what the Russians do best, though, in sending Zhukov to fix the problem. But there's not much Bohemian Empire left now. See how that goes.
Here's Yugoslavia facing its greatest threat.
Yeah, the war have now merged, so let's see what actually we have now. If we go to Germany here, and there are 3 wars going for Germany here, so who are not, so I guess it's a call-in for Italy, maybe that's missing. German-Japanese war, which is just a little side thing, I guess no one's actually done anything. No, 0 losses on both sides. And then we have the German-Polish war here, where, which I guess is sort of what started. Is that mostly the Allies? Plenty of losses. But I mean, none of these wars have very big losses, actually. I think people have been playing fairly efficiently.
Well, cautiously.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Now, the stuff with... I think this is the big one. With the Indian People's Republic. The thing that sprang out of the Civil War, yeah. This one has like 200k losses, but I mean, as world wars go, that's not much. So let's go and check out the front line here. It looks like Yugoslavia is under attack, but it looks like their defenses are holding as well.
We've gotten a lot of support from the Italian player, from Gaming Bear, who's playing Italy. He's shown up with a healthy chunk of his own men.
Yeah, and the Spanish as well. Grug is here on the front as well.
Right.
And I mean, they have the river here. It's a tough area to attack. I think all of these areas are tough. That's why I wish they would sort of maybe focus on this Danish path here. There might be a way in there.
Now, if you were playing the communists, how would you take advantage of the Danish path? Do the Soviets have enough convoys or to land?
Well, there are several ports here that you could probably pull off invasions on. Actually, not sure if the German Navy is patrolling here. No, it is actually. So, yeah, I guess it's only really submarines. They could probably. Comintern could maybe get control for here. I'm not sure. Probably not. So that means they have to go the land route, and that's going to be tough, actually.
The Soviet Navy Baltic Fleet is still in dock.
Yeah.
And shouldn't it challenge for control of that?
They could try. I mean, there's only some German submarines there. So, I mean, that would be...
But they would have taken a huge beating by the Royal Navy at the beginning of the war.
Yeah. I feel like Naval Invasions would be the thing that could sort of open up a new surprise frontier.
Maybe that's...
Because everything's so incredibly fortified and everybody's kind of gone with divisions that are mainly defensive as well.
Right.
And I think Daniel's slowly pushing here. I think once he gets through this, they will have enough guns to maybe turn things around. Actually, Romania is still not doing very well here against Yugoslavia. You can kind of get a good idea by just zooming out and observing the combat colors here. So from German perspective, it's mostly green. There is actually some fights down in Africa now. So in the sandstorm here, the Italian player and the Soviet Union are fighting, and the Soviet Union seem to be winning actually. So I think they are taking back the strait here. They've gotten Jerusalem at last. Let's see how these combats look. Because I'm not sure if the Italian play is really focusing on this area. Now, we seem to be bringing up reinforcements, but... And Bohemia still a sword in our eye here.
That's one of the real challenges of this game, is the war is paying attention to multiple fronts.
Yeah, it's quite difficult when with 10 people it is hard to just put it in Europe as well.
Right.
Yeah. I think long term we probably want to add some more tools to help us with that, like something like you could be able to ping a minimap or something like that and go like, guys, look here. Because there is so much stuff going on, so it is kind of difficult to know exactly where, like if someone's about to do an encirclement or actually pull through breakthrough, it's kind of difficult to see that exactly when it's happening. Yeah. I'm getting the cheerful Hustleness song here.
Yes.
Not sure it's going that well that we want to play the Hustleness song for the Axis here. Maybe. I mean, they're holding their own, but... They seem actually to have bolstered the attack forces now here in Romania. I'm seeing extra Soviet divisions. So
maybe the plan isn't to come from the north, but to come from the south.
Yeah. But I mean, coming from the south means, you know, 30% attack penalty to river crossings and the other fun stuff against fairly decently entrenched units. fact, I'm gonna have a look. Like Czechoslovakia, I think they've taken all their fortification stuff almost now. Not everything. There's a Polish line. I guess that one doesn't matter anymore. So they're not really built anything on the front line here. They seem to be giving states to Yugoslavia.
It's like the American political situation is stabilized.
Oh yeah, so did people...
It's still 44% fascist, but there are enough communists, I think, to keep them in check.
Yeah. We'll see, I mean, although I don't think this is gonna run till 1940.
No.
But that's when the next election is, if they're gonna go through the election path. Yeah. But it's not much pushing here from Daniel either. Is the front really that tough? I guess might be. There's not many holes. I think China has sort of plugged them all. Are they waiting for Japan? They're still heavily communist, but there's not really been any uprisings or anything like that, so.
Surprised the Siamese are so quiet.
Yeah, I mean, those that kind of cat is usually fairly talkative.
Yes.
Oh, cat trivia. Yeah, I mean, the Soviets are down here. They're sort of all over the place. It must be kind of hectic, even though the fronts aren't moving that much. You have to get involved in all these different fronts. But stuff is still tough here. I mean, they're bleeding a lot here against the Yugoslav front. I think I'm gonna have a look and see how much they're actually losing here. So let's see. It's not that bad actually. They're being careful still. So I mean, when stuff isn't moving so much, let's talk about PDXCON a little bit. Troy, what do you think? Like, did you see a lot of the seminars?
I did. I didn't have a chance to see yours, unfortunately. But
it got streamed though, so you can you'll be able to see it later.
As soon as I land back in Toronto and am awake, I do plan on catching up on all the panels that I missed, which were a few of them. But I did manage to catch Johan Anderson's and Henrik Farias's and Björn Iverson's and a few others. And I was impressed. I was happy that the rooms were all full, that many of our guests, it was a highlight for them to come and listen to the developers talk about the craft, talk about how we make games and why we make games.
Yeah, I mean, there were some of the ones that, like your ones that were talking about the long history of the games, but there were also some who are actual content designers that were, you know, talking about the day-to-day work. So I actually missed that one myself. So I'm going to be looking at that too. And the Swedes actually had a little bit of success here and then got pushed back again. So now they're back behind the... oh no, now they're back again.
Can't keep a good Swede down.
It's going back and forth. And I mean, I'll see. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to be rooting for the Swedes. They're the only ones I've seen that made like fairly decent attack templates so far. But they're doing it off the the equipment of conquered other Scandinavians.
I would love to hear from the German player, but I do not want to distract the Prussian prince from all of his combats. Though I would love to get his perspective on, you know, why he's being so cautious in the east and what he's going to do with the Swedes to the north.
Yeah, I mean, I think caution in the east is, you know, they're very evenly matched. I don't think anyone really considered the fact that they needed serious breakthrough units here.
The Canadians are still trying to invade.
Yeah, see, there are some Canadians here trying to dislodge Gibraltar.
Well, good.
Fighting the good fight. I mean, I think the rest of the empire has given up. UK's at so it's like 6 divisions or something like that. So.
Oh my God.
And there's a lot of sunk German convoys, though.
Yes. Which will eventually tell. I mean, but then
Yeah.
again, if we talked about the lack of panzers. If you don't have oil, you can't make panzers.
Yeah. Romania does have a lot of oil, though.
Yeah, but they're communists, and you got to get to it.
Oh, that's a good point.
The communists
I was like,
kind of
well,
kind of wrap it
Romanian
all-
oil is Axis oil, was my brain. Yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
But in this game, they're communists. In fact, the communists have wrapped up almost all the oil, except for
So that does
the
make sense, yeah.
except for Italy, where assuming Italy took the national focus. Oh, now they are doing the prospect for oil.
Yeah.
National focus. Now, generally, when I play Italy, that's one of the first things I go for.
Yeah. No, I was having a look at like Sint refineries.
Mhm.
Germany doesn't seem to be building a lot. So maybe they are just going, it's going to be infantry this time. Let's see what doctrines they picked. I mean, they're going down the blitzkrieg path, though. It's a little wasteful if you're not going to have tanks, but I guess you start with it. I think actually the southern part here of Yugoslavia has actually had to fall back a bit. I think so. You know, near like the
Near Sofia?
yeah. I think so. I think they've taken 1 or 2 provinces actually.
Belgrade is very close to falling. No one's invading yet. You know, the
Yeah, but
Danube's
that's some
not-
serious crossings and fortifications, though.
yeah.
They have a well, actually, it's only level 2 fort, so
But that's a big river.
that is a big river, and they probably shouldn't be attacking with those tanks across there. What is Vichy tank? No, that's never mind. I'm colorblind. It's Romanians. So Daniel is slowly winning here as well.
Very slowly.
Very slowly. You do not simply go fast in these mountains, although, I mean, he's got some straights here. I think what he needed was some good Mongolian cavalry. I think we should have done what I really wanted initially, to put Grugi as the Mongolian cavalry guy. But we felt the, balance would maybe not be as good.
No, you're actually winning that battle now, kid.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of Bohemian Empire left, but it's all mountains.
Yeah, but there's nobody there.
Yeah, maybe we should have a mechanic, like if it's completely cut off in a mountainous, like low infra region, and there's nobody there, it will just flip after a while.
Yeah.
Now, make sure they don't retreat.
Because there's really nobody there that actually has any loyalty to the Bohemian Empire at this point.
Now,
Yeah,
mind,
although you never know, but
Quill might not know that.
that's true. Let's see, so Romania is...
I'm going with 17 divisions forward.
But I think our interviewers are off somewhere, so I don't know if we can get an interview right now. But I'd like to hear what...
I'd like to hear from our German and Italian players.
yeah. See how they see in this conflict side. Because I'm still not really seeing Daniel's surprise.
No, I think Daniel was trying to plant some false information.
Yeah. They're getting expeditionaries more from Soviet Union. So in fact, how much of this front line is Soviet Union troops? All right, so we hear Zeke is ready, so over to Zeke.
I'm standing here in the middle of the German Reich, and we're gonna check with the Prussian prince how the war is going. Tell us all about it.
The war, well, against Soviet Union, nothing is happening. It's basically a stalemate, but I think we're finally getting a breakthrough in Romania. I have like 17 divisions here. Well, more like 30 if you include these as well. I think we're going to actually be able to break through here and possibly get a huge encirclement on the Romanians and some Soviets here. So I think that's going to be great for us.
That sounds really great for you. Anything else?
Anything else? Well, looks like...
You have a very big, beautiful Reich, if I have to say so myself.
Yeah, not so beautiful though. There's still some border gore here and there. You know, like this Lithuania here. It should be German.
I like to think of it as creative borders, if you ask me.
I suppose, but like, you know, Germany, peace, like I think everybody deserves German peace, even Lithuania.
That is true. Can we get a few words from the Grugster by chance?
Yeah, the Spanish special forces are holding strong in the south of Yugoslavia, and we also have put Guardia Republicana in the north to guard against the Swedish aggression. Bringing communism to the German people is the most sinful act I can think of.
Well, you and me both. Any reasonable person, I suppose. But that's it from the Axis right now, and throwing it back to the studio with Dan and Troy.
All right, thanks for the update. Yeah, we're watching this supposed encirclement here, but I'm not sure exactly who's getting encircled. It looks like the Romanians are actually fortifying, so I'm not sure if this pocket's going anywhere. Maybe. Like right now, they seem to maybe run out. They're also on low supply, and enemy has air superiority here. Oh, actually, some pretty planes flew by here. But maybe, I mean, they have 13 divisions, so they just kind of like.
So the plan is to go south towards Arad, I guess.
I think so.
And then cut off everything to the west of that. Well, that's a gutsy move.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's gonna work. I mean, they have maybe if they have enough to, they're gonna really. That's a really thin. It's called salient, right?
Yeah,
but
they got to follow that up, right? They can't just. They got to plug that hole.
Yeah.
And plug that line, without weakening their eastern Romanian front.
Yeah. So let's see how much. These divisions are still also kind of weakish. How bad is their attrition now? They're 2.7%. So that, I mean, they seem to be pushing through. Honestly, they're taking casualties doing it, and their org is not going so good. But they might be able to pull through, maybe. But why is their supply so bad? Has someone been bombing this area? Oh, they're just massively over.
There's too many men.
Yeah, it's just massively over limit. But again, with that many, maybe the 10% penalty isn't all end of the world here.
But I don't see that as a plan either. He's microing those units, it seems. I don't see any battle plan.
Yeah, I think it's for sure microing. I mean, when you have a couple like that, it's more efficient. The air war is like, the Germans are not, I don't think they have any air force here really backing up. In fact, they're using all their air force.
In eastern Poland.
Yeah. But they've actually pushed past that front line, so they are wasting their entire air force. Well, unless they have to defend, I guess.
They have some action going on in the Balkans.
Yeah.
But
I would have definitely thrown this down and to help this Romanian push here. I mean, let's see how much they have. I mean, they have a couple of hundred tactical bombers and stuff. That could for sure help here. And I mean, they are pushing through actually. I mean.
So do you have confidence in this plan? Do you think it'll lead to an encirclement? Because they've also got to push.
I honestly don't know if they're gonna manage to get through the whole thing. That's gonna require so many divisions to hold that. But they might get somewhere and then be tragically encircled themselves, perhaps.
So I just see a Falaise pocket opening up here. I mean, I just see them being cut.
Yeah. Maybe this should have been coordinated with some, like... What if the Yugoslav player gave up, like, the whole area around Plovdiv? Like, the whole southern part there?
Yeah.
They could maybe give up a bunch of that. That would free up a lot of troops. They would just have to hold 2 provinces, go up and sort of help push from the bottom instead. So you're going from 2 directions, maybe.
Yeah.
Try and cut them off.
Or yield some space and suck in some of the Romanian troops and move them forward, thinning out the Romanian line.
Yeah.
But that requires a lot of coordination.
We have set up Discord servers though,
We
but I'm
have
not
set up
sure if they
Discord
work. So
Yeah.
some Russian bombers being shot down here. Yeah. Okay. So is anything else going on? I see the Swedes seem to have given up on their assault here. See if they're actually planning anything else. Are there any? Oh, they're actually planning a naval invasion. But I suspect they don't have superiority required. They do. In fact, the Swedish Navy actually kind of seem to be able to control the Baltic here. And here we go. The Swedish invasion is landing. We'll see how that goes. It's not landing near a port, so it's awfully far away from port.
It's just the one division, right?
Yeah. In fact, I wonder if the Swedes have... they have... No, they don't have mass assault. Because then you can survive a bit longer with your invasions, perhaps. Let's see. They are landing now, but what are they going to do about it?
The horsey men.
It's Moose Cavalry.
Moose Cavalry.
Valfärds Brigade.
Oh, and they're going to do it. They're going to try to go for an end run south to Berlin.
Best Adolphus is the...
best Adolphus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's the best Adolphus.
So many to pick from. Well, I mean, this is just harassment, though. I don't think it's gonna work.
No, I think the hope is to pull some of the Germans from somewhere else, but you'd have to be a fool, I would think, to go chasing waterfalls and ferries and dust like horses are going to Berlin, right?
Yeah. I mean, is the whole Kriegsmarine dead? I haven't really looked.
They've been taking a lot of casualties from the Royal Navy.
They have some battleships, and I mean, they have some fleet.
They have a lot of ships in port.
I would probably want to put that in the Baltic, honestly.
Yeah.
So Sweden can stop harassing you.
They got 2 battleships, a couple heavy cruisers, some light cruisers. That should not be sitting there in Wilhelmshaven.
No. And... what is this? It's, wow. Cannot quite see that. Oh, actually, let's go look at this push. Has he gotten any further now from the Bohemian German push here? It doesn't really look like it.
I think it's a great idea, but I think it's stalled out a bit.
Yeah. Again, like, nobody really has the heavy push divisions. They just have a lot of divisions.
Yeah.
And like, supply now is... they've improved supply, it seems. It's better now, but it's around... they're actually getting supplies for all these divisions. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to actually help them push through here.
The best Adolphus, or the beast Adolphus, as I'm going to call him here on in, has been cut off from supply as expected.
No. Surely moose cavalry should just be able to eat the trees or something. I don't know what mooses eat.
Trees. And cars.
Yeah. Yeah,
that infantry unit.
The chat is cheering the cheering the mooses on.
Well, it has a chance. It's a very weak infantry unit.
Yeah. Do it. Nepal has joined.
Oh, being attacked again by a guy from Stettin. Oh, Secretariat's not going to make it, it looks like.
Yeah. Keep waiting for Daniel to pull off some micro magic here and go through the China front. It's pretty weak. I mean, he's only now getting like the infantry stuff. He's actually going for paratroopers. Daniel is going for paratroopers.
So he's going to just drop men on Nanjing?
Maybe. I mean,
does he have planes?
It's a very good question.
I mean, Is there a Chinese catapult?
He is building them. He can build 9 of them a year.
9 transports. All right.
Yeah, because he has no resources of any kind and not that many factories and bad efficiency.
Or he could also buy some from the Soviet Union, you would think. He could. Wouldn't that be the smartest thing to do? License?
Or lend-lease. I mean, you could give him... Oh, wait, you can't lend-lease the... No, you can, actually. So, yeah, he should be able to... Should be able to do that. I don't know. Maybe they're not helping him or something. Maybe they're using all their production power. So, let's go back to the Romanian push here. I mean, it's still holding, but it's definitely lost its punch now, I think.
We're getting a bit more action from the Belgrade front.
Oh, yeah.
And this is...
Yeah, have you seen that Sofia here has fallen now? And it actually looks like the Soviets are going to be pulling off an encirclement instead into Yugoslavia here.
Yeah, they'll be cutting off a good couple of dozen divisions.
Yep. So that might actually be the turning point here. Because that's going to shorten the front line, and that, I think, is what they need.
Right, and then that encirclement can continue along the coast.
Yep. Because they can just keep going upwards. I think that might be what breaks this.
There we go.
Let's hope for that. Nice. Nice work. Just have to make sure they can hold it now.
Yeah. And Sofia is the main supply point there.
Yeah.
So you can tell on the supply map for Yugoslavia that those 20 divisions are in terrible need of help.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to that. So, yeah, no, they're not doing so well here.
German-Polish wars have merged with the Czechoslovakian Bhutanese war. Oh.
Some of the war situations now are going to be pretty weird. Question is what to be called. It's like at some point these wars probably should be named like
we have an amphibious invasion of the Baltic from China.
Oh, what?
The real deal is proving its realness.
I am confused by this, but
if you look at
is that the surprise he meant?
If the surprise he meant was 3 small amphibious invasions, I am surprised.
Well, I think he's going to take Stettin, which surprises me a little. I don't know, like, are they going to like break Germany through too much cognitive load? Because he's tried this on me in multiplayer once. He will send off a couple of invasions so that I'll look away while he does an encirclement somewhere else.
You gotta get those boats out of Wilhelmshaven.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Yugoslav pocket here is basically being closed off. So good job there for from the Soviets and I guess Romania. I'm not quite sure. I think it was a good joint effort there. So that's gonna drop off a couple of divisions, and of course, put the pressure elsewhere. Wonder what the... In fact, the Slovakian border is also fairly fortified, so they're gonna probably take Yugoslavia easily and then start running into the Bohemian Empire.